has stepped up to the plate. These Iranian, who were they, soccer players? I think they were soccer players. The Asian Cup was in Australia. And the Iranian women's soccer team stood silently with their hands by their sides, refusing to sing the Iranian national anthem. Subsequently, the women signed SOS signals as the team was boarding a tour bus. They knew a target was on their back. Trump immediately responded, "I'll call on Australia to grant asylum to these brave women. If Australia will not do it, the United States will." And the Iranian women's soccer team removed their hijabs as soon as they granted asylum in Australia. It was never a choice. 99% of women in Iran, will also take off their hijabs if this Islamic regime falls. One thing that's going to have to happen eventually, and I don't know if you saw Prime Minister Netanyahu's quote, Linda. Did you happen to see it? He tells the Iranian people now, whenever President Trump says seize the moment, this may be a once-in-a-generation opportunity. President is not about nation building. This is going to eventually end up in the hands of the Iranian people. And the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu knows that as well. We quoted yesterday the president of Israel, Herzog, made the statement that no, he doesn't expect either Israeli or American troops on the ground. The only operation I could see it may happen for is if there is 60% enriched uranium. That can't end up in the wrong hands. But anyway, the Prime Minister sent a message to the people in Iran on a post on X, implying that conditions for a revolution against the regime would soon be met, and the Iranian people would then have the opportunity to pursue regime change. Quote, "Your dreams will become a reality when the time is right, and that time is fast approaching. We will pass the torch to you. Be ready to seize the moment." Really echoing President Trump's initial statements, and the president also saying this is about the future. And Trump intends to go all the way with this move. Senior Israeli intelligence officials telling the Jerusalem Post the U.S. intended to continue. And, as Pete Hegseth and Raising Cane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, have been saying, the U.S. strike on Iranian oil, their biggest hub, which is Harb Island, handles 90 to 95% of Iran's crude exports and sits near critical the Strait of Hormuz. By the way, the Jerusalem Post is reporting. Now, first of all, they had a tough time electing, obviously, this special council that they put together that's in charge of picking the new supreme leader. They wiped out the initial, right during the initial vote, they knew where everybody was. This is after they wiped out the supreme leader and all the top leadership in Iran. But Iranian state television reported that the son of the supreme leader, now the new supreme leader, has been wounded. Though the broadcast didn't provide details about the circumstances, the injury, the severity, it didn't indicate when the injury occurred or whether it affected his day-to-day responsibilities. I don't know, Linda. I don't think I want the job of supreme leader. You want that job? I think I'll pass.
I would actually want that job. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to change it all. I'll end the war tomorrow.
Oh, boy. No more burkinis in Iran.
I'll tell you what.
No way.
Coach, I'm ready.
Put me in. What would you do, Linda? Tell me how you would rearrange the government.
I would give everybody back their rights. I would make it a full republic. It's a democracy if you could keep it, right? I would allow them to have open and fair elections. They could elect the person that makes the most sense for their country.
It's a republic if you can keep it. You're quoting.
I said it backwards. Whatever. Moving on. So we would get everybody to go. We would have election integrity. We put all the things in place so they never suffer from what we got going on here with the Save America Act. We would get everybody the right. We'd eradicate IRGC. We'd have no more influence from any of these Hamases and Hezbollahs and Houthis and Kurds. It would be their own country. They would be able to go back to the way it was when Persia was the way of Iran. It would be amazing.
It would be a better Iran. It'd be a safer world. U.S., by the way, is sending B-52 bombers to Iran. It's still America's deadliest weapon. 70 years of service. B-52s. Remember we used to call him B-1 Bob Dornan? I loved Bob Dornan. Bob Dornan was great. Iran's misfire rate has collapsed by 92%. That is an unbelievable Operation Roaring Lion Epic Fury. March 9th with a scenario, modeling through March 23rd. Anyway, the anti-missile battery fire inception, it's going at a much better rate. I mean, and God bless our brave men and women. I mean, it's the greatest military on the face of the earth, and to watch the precision, the intelligence gathering capabilities of both nations and united forces. And then you have to ask yourself, by the way, huge crowds are now gathering in Tehran for a pro-regime funeral. Anyway, for the Iranian military commanders who were killed in strikes. I assume you're going to have holdovers. That's going to raise, the specter of, okay, how do the people can't win a revolution with a slingshot? I've been bringing this point up for a long time, too. By the way, did you check the price of a barrel of oil? Because it went down dramatically yesterday. What is it at?
It's at 85.95. It's up.
Okay, so it's a little bit up from yesterday, but nowhere near the highs where it was 115. U.S. Central Command issued a warning to civilians that the Iranian regime is using civilian ports along the Strait of Hormuz to conduct military operations that threaten international shipping. U.S. forces urging civilians in Iran to immediately avoid all port facilities where Iranian naval forces are operating. And they already took out like 20 of their ships that were in the region. There's always been the threat that they will mine that, considering, I guess it's anywhere between 20 and 33% of the world's oil supply passes through there on any one given day.
Keep it right in there.
And, that's why this, an island a third the size of New York City controls virtually all.
I got a stringer assignment to go see if there's some flooding over in a town about 30 minutes away to my west on this river. So we're going to check it out. If we can get some decent recording of it, we're going to. And if not, I got to run a laptop out to Green Springs. I don't know if I'm going to make a stop before that.
Draining the nation's oil stockpile. Well, we know why he did it. He did it for the midterm elections in 2022. It's not a surprise. As Trump says, the U.S. military completely destroyed 10 inactive mine-laying boats. Now it's 20 as of today. Over 5,000 military targets have been hit. And every day...
Started off pretty warm this morning, but it's dropping out. It's going to get down into the 30s tonight.
Bigger and more effective and stronger and
might
more
get some
targeted.
snow.
I mean, it is unbelievable. They're incredible. And if you wonder about the president wanting $1.5 trillion from the military, understand we need the next generation of weaponry. You're seeing it unfold here.
Might even do some dashing. We'll see.
And it is, we're lucky that we have had people like Donald Trump in office. Ronald Reagan have built up our nation's military might. But people laughed at strategic defense. They laughed at Reagan. They made fun of him. They called it Star Wars. We turn on the media, the legacy media mob. And the legacy media mob would do what they always do. They'd create their little, animations of rockets being, missiles being taken out of the air. And it's Star Wars. And they were making fun of it. Guess what? Star Wars is a reality.
It was storming really bad this morning.
To protect the entire United States.
My big German Shepherd jumped in bed with us.
And share it.
He's a big baby when it comes to thunderstorms.
Anyway, so the new supreme leader is injured, and we're watching events on the ground. Our prayers, our thoughts are with all of those people that put themselves in harm's way.
Come on, dude.
It's very,
I'm not gonna
very,
putz
very
down this road.
dangerous what they have to do, and the success.
So why was Mitty's stream cutting out? Was he just in a bad spot yesterday? I don't know what area he's in. So
I guess they.
I mean, I got into all three streams, but it was just nuts.
They said the message that he keeps getting from the families: don't let them die in vain. Finish the job. Because they understand. The military has a different mindset, different understanding. At least that's been my life experience when I talk to people in the military. They understand the danger of the mission. They know what they sign up for. But they understand that this is about something bigger longer term thinking, strategic thinking.
This guy's looking for a road. Okay, that makes sense. That's why he's going so slow.
How many
I'll give him some room.
Been saved by preventing Iran from ever getting a nuclear weapon? We'll never know.
Okay, I figured it was something like that.
You talk about selfless.
I mean, the stream looked good, and then all of a sudden, gone.
The best of the best, and that's it. It's unbelievable. Right, 800-941-SEAN is our number if you want to be a part of the program. Now, I want to paint a picture for you, because this is life in Israel right now for our friends in Israel. I don't know, around midnight, every night, sirens blare. Happened last night. You only have seconds to grab your child and run. Now, imagine you're elderly. Yeah, the legs don't quite work like they used to. Getting downstairs, that feels impossible. And after all that, you end up in a bomb shelter for hours, even days, because you can't make that trek again. That's the reality. That is real life happening.
It's gone down quite a bit. It seems like it just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper. I'm trying to talk my buddy Bill into switching over to that. Right now he uses the T-Mobile Wi-Fi, but it's intermittent, like any cell service. I think after we get this bar and things start looking better, he'll switch over to it. I wouldn't mind getting Starlink myself. Get completely off of the cable company's teat. I went round and round with Spectrum today about our commercial accounts. I have two, but you're Metro, right? Nice signal, dumbass. If you'd have been blinking, I'd have just gone. Now I'm going to be behind your dumbass. Well, they're getting so big, too. I mean, the service is pretty decent, I mean, my internet is really decent at the house there. Just they're always trying to sell some shit. Oh, U.S. Cellular now? Yeah. T-Mobile bought a bunch of companies. They got Metro PCS. They got the U.S. Cellular. I think, didn't they pick up Boost too? I know there's a bunch of them that they swallowed up. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did. Have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. Visit mintmobile.com/review. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, and full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. Full terms at mintmobile.com. I think that's a certain amount of time, but I've had the same phone number for about 16 years, so. Recipients can use simple strategies to move Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen. Oh, you got on pretty quick. I barely got going down off the driveway and going down the road. Then again, I sat for a minute after I started the stream, typing stuff up. Oh shit. We'll text it to you right away. Along with President Trump's act, cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text the data rates may apply.
So when I ask, what is Odoo? What comes to mind? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management.
Yeah, I've had friends, or I've even dated people that, man, they change their number 2-3 times a year. It's like you can never keep up.
Because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Almost any number is portable to a new company. Even if you switch companies, you should be able to port the number over. I mean, within an hour, you know. A lot of those folks aren't living the best lives, so. Oh, shit. But
At Swiss Funding, we fund small businesses like yours from $25,000 up to $2 million with cash in your account in less than 24 hours. If you've been in business for at least 1 year,
you signaled for that time, didn't you?
Of $50,000, you could unlock financing with rates as low as 8% and flexible payment terms tailored to your business needs. Apply today at swishfunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com.
Well, I've got my work number too, but actually what's funny is that I forward calls from my work phone to my personal phone, so I don't have to carry them both around all the time. Basically, I use the work phone for, actually that's what I stream on when I do mobile. It's not as nice as my S25, but I don't see the plot. I'm looking at this S26 and I'm not seeing the point in it. There really isn't that many improvements. More AI shit, but I don't really want that. It's something I need to get away from too, is getting a new phone every fucking year because I want the new bells and whistles. I just don't see that many of them in this one. Then again, if I break it, then I'll upgrade. But 420 when I get there. It's supposed to be a historic covered bridge. I think that'll be a good place. I think it goes over the river. I'm going to be checking for flooding. I'll try and do some recording there, and then maybe near the downtown area. The name of the city is called Stryker. Like I think that's where they get the name from to make the hospital beds. I know there's a big regional jail out this way too. Like a lot of the different counties around here use the same large jail. ICE uses it too. Oh, we're getting some sprinkling. It's sprinkling outside. Oh, that's a cool looking house. It's weird. The front of the house is kind of on the side. It's not facing the road. Oh, they changed it. Okay. They upgraded. Well, I get it if you have a really old one or something like that, going to it. But if you have an iPhone 16, what's the point in going to the 17? That's kind of how I feel about I mean, I have a S25. Why do I need an S26? Another $2,000 phone. You gonna go or not? Jesus.
I think they've been very bad. Very bad. Not good at all. Maybe we may try to upgrade with them. All trade with them. I don't know what Spain's doing. They've been very bad to NATO. They get protected. They don't want to pay their fair share. And they've been that way for many years.
That didn't look like an official sign, that speed limit sign there.
2 weeks after hitting more than 5,500 targets. The Israeli military striking across Iran as well as in Lebanon.
But
Israel says
It's targeting the Iran-backed
weird.
terrorist group Hezbollah. An Israeli intelligence assessment also indicates that Iran's nuclear.
Well, I guess it may be because even the 55 sign is. They don't look like official signs. They just have weird fonts on them. Well, yeah, you can get a laptop. I mean, I just upgraded my laptop at home, and that was only $1,800. I mean, I didn't pay for it. Work paid for it, but that's less than the cost of a phone. But it's got almost the same size hard drive.
The Senate bill is co-sponsored by Republican Tim Scott and Democrat Elizabeth Warren and is backed by President Trump. Right, Clarkston.
I mean, the laptops I buy for the people at work are $500 a piece, and they're good ones. They got touchscreen and everything on them. Good Lenovo's. Yeah, you should know you got a broken one. So, does that thing even work anymore? I might have another one I can send you. It's got the one I have. It's an Asus. It has the battery's shot in it, but as long as it's plugged in, it'll work. It works pretty good. Yeah, well, the ditches are flooded here, so that's one thing. If I see it, it does cool. I may have the text just use it as a backup desktop. That's the tech desk. Oh, no worries, brother. A little bit of water standing on the fields here, but nothing horribly bad. It's pretty common in the springtime for that to happen. My backyard's got a bunch of standing water on it. But
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where
it's not any more powerful than the one you got. So I know you got to pretty much leave that one open all the time, where that lid cracks. Where the bottom of it has that crack in it. I remember that. Did a little shitty repair to it.
$2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with
I'm surprised I haven't lost connection yet. I'm out in the boonies.
No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle from lines of credit.
Come on, you don't have to stop at the tracks, guys. Look at this shit. Oh my God.
Minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Oh, it's got templates on it. Oh, it's tax season. Tax season means template season. Then they miss their first 2 payments and it gets repoed.
Now that's a recession-resistant career. Wow, thanks. I'll check it out.
This guy's gonna think I'm following him. I'm turning left here. Let's see if he is too.
And the lead company is certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
No. Okay, good. I won't have to be stuck behind him anymore.
Employed over 30,000 W-2 employees in all 50 states. That's when I learned there are different
Why the fuck?
tax laws in all 50 states. And
truck. It's a DTE on it. That's Detroit. Edison.
areas of business. That's why I created Patriot Software to make payroll simple for millions of American businesses. Use our simple do-it-yourself software at patriotsoftware.com.
Yeah, a lot of people will turn over their tax return at a buy here, pay here place, where those corner used car places that do their own financing, and they put a low jack in it where they can shut it off if you don't make a payment. There's a ton of those around here. Well, in Toledo anyway. Not really here, but oh geez, why are we stopping? Fucking 55 here, guy.
We're getting very close to finishing that Eagle tomorrow over the Democrat. Yes. Overness. Yes. Overcome. Yes.
Do you have a Zoolander problem?
No, I just
Still 15 minutes away.
It's just 2 a.m. It's just 2 a.m. You're right.
I'm on Highway 2, heading west.
And you know what? I don't want to get rid of it. Freedom is that.
Just north of Pettisville. Or actually, I'll just send you the Waze link so you can see where I'm at. Elected, I can do that. O'Reilly.
In this radio program, that is all things self-proclaimed simple man. That means all things Bill O'Reilly, all things O'Reilly at BillO'Reilly.com. Mr. O'Reilly, sir, how are you? Great to have you.
Yep.
I know it's your favorite time of the week. We appreciate you being here.
You know, Wednesday, this replace Saturday.
That's your favorite day of the week?
When I send that link, you can actually track me.
All right, so...
That's right. I told you about that when I went out to Minnie's house. It's this Swanton Welding, heavy fabrication.
I've never gone here with you. And you're going to do a longer form Mike Wallace style interview program on top of your nightly newscast, whatever it is that you do, and your message of the day. And you've got your own...
Starting to come down again.
You do it very well, and I'm very happy for you. And you still do radio, I think. I'm not sure if you're going to keep that up, but you're busy, and I admire that. But what you called it is where I've never gone there before with you. Long time ago, you worked at a show called Inside Edition, long before you were at Fox. People may not know that. And you had a bad day, let's put it that way. And you got really pissed off, and one day somebody leaked that tape, and it just went viral. They even did, dance edits of this thing. I never asked you about it because I figured it might be a little tender, sore subject, but you're kind of owning it by calling the longer form interview. We'll do it live.
Yeah, my staff turned on me. Do that at all. And they demanded it. These are all younger people. And,
oh, wow. There's a lot of standing water. Oh, look at this. Wow.
It is funny.
Is that a creek there? Holy crap, there's a lot of standing water there. Yeah, that irrigation canal there is flooded.
Absolute disaster to a very store here today. Profitable enterprise. And this staff on this certain day just couldn't deliver the videotape on time. And we had to do
okay, you gotta stop. You just
high water. See? I might even do some recording out here. Oh, look at this.
You're owning something.
This little swampy area here is coming over the road.
But as a good friend, I've never gone there with you, but you now open the door. You know, this is one of the things, if you're in the public eye, whatever you have done or did or said, I mean, I'm still being asked questions. What I said on a college radio station in 1987. It's unbelievable. It just sticks with you forever. And But I thought it was
It's like
cool
a
that
church.
you owned it, and I think people will respect that.
Let me get to the kicker of the story. So I was 12 years old when this happened.
You were not 12 years old. Go ahead.
Somebody took the tape and sold it. They sold it to a far left website to then put it out. Then they, from what I understand, they made a lot of money selling that tape. Decided to turn it around, and tomorrow will be the first episode with Rob Schneider, who has an amazing, and you're going to want to watch this because he dissects Jimmy Kimmel and what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. Schneider knows that world. He's a comedian,
I think it's pretty common out here too.
and he's a Trump supporter.
Oh, this is Souder Village. I was always wondering where this was. This is like
I'm imitating you.
semi-Amish-owned furniture area here. Coming up on the left. It's like a flea market and everything.
It begins tomorrow on BillO'Reilly.com and all of our distribution points.
It's never going to break through until you have me on. You know.
Okay.
Sure, and anytime you want to come on.
That has to be in person. I find that podcasts have to be in person.
Yes. Souder Furniture.
And,
have you heard of Souder Furniture?
By the way, 2-time Stanley Cup winner.
Amish made.
They're the Stanley Cup champs, and then now Olympic hockey gold medal winner. And his whole family, they're like hockey legends. And I'm doing a wide variety of stuff that.
Oh, the food is awesome.
Understand the restrictions in the formatted radio and TV, that you have short segments, you got to get quick answers. I don't want quick answers. I want to know.
There's a place in Indiana, just not too much farther, called, what's it called?
When he got help back in the 3rd and 4th grade.
Oh, I can't remember.
Dyslexia. Hearing his father say to him.
It's actually not a little bit farther. It's about at least another hour away from here. But
that had to be for him, but also motivating.
Shipshewana, Indiana.
And his family, surrounded him, his sisters and others, and helped him. And look at the great.
That's got a huge, one of the biggest flea markets I've ever seen in my life. Oh wow, that pond's flooding.
Everybody has a story to
overflowing too.
That's crazy. Your whole story. I don't think you've ever told, what it was like with Colorado. I think you've told only the parts you.
Yeah, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna have to do the recording out in the rain. Good thing I wear my hat.
Humanity, which the nuns called me in 3rd grade. None of that in there. But people think I'm an egomaniac, but I'm really not that interested in talking about myself. So I'm like you. I'm curious about people and what they've been through and how they've come out the other side to be successful. And I dug out the old Mike Wallace show, Night Beat, which is on in the 1950s. And Wallace, I think, was the best interviewer ever. And
you ever watch the show Biography he did?
Yeah, he's brilliant. And directing Night Beat instead of Wallace passed away. It's me. And
check the weather real quick.
For people who want longer form. And so you and I are delivering that, and I think we're both going to be successful.
The radar here.
I love doing it. It's
oh, wow.
Fun.
Well, most of it's south of us right now, though. We're just getting the misty rain. Yeah, according to the radar, most of it's south of here. We got it this morning, but right now it's not so bad here. Yeah, south of us is getting hit. That's Jared's area right there. Jared's getting pummeled. Yeah, right between Columbus and here. Douche.
I'm not angry. I'm not in competition with anybody, and I have nothing to prove except I want to do great programming for an audience. That's what I want to do, and that's who I'm serving. And I'm not serving. I don't care what the critics think or other people think. And I think you're at that point in your life as well.
Yeah, let me give you some advice, Sandy. If somebody's older than you, not by much, but
no, a lot, but that's okay.
Well, both you and I are guys from working class.
Well, that's it. The front yard, the ditch is full. That's because this ditch isn't draining right. It's not even a ditch. That's why. Just standing water.
Now, of course, not everybody like you and me.
Oh, that front yard's flooded good too. Wow.
On issues, but we have proven to the country and the world that we're professional people and we deliver a good product. You stain your legacy when you get involved with personal investors. So the people who are doing that on social media, they get a short-term gain. They get people to click over to watch them, call people names or denigrate them in all kinds of different ways. But the body of the public does not respect.
Yeah, that's what Mitty was saying last night.
All things Simpleman Bill O'Reilly on the other side. All things O'Reilly at BillO'Reilly.com. Then we'll get to your calls coming up 800-941-SHOW on our number if you want to be a part of the program.
Out of the water there. That's crazy. I'd like to get a picture of that.
Free consultation from our friends at American Financing. You give that up, but you're still having trouble making ends meet.
Wow, yeah.
And that's a lot of
little swamp area there is all flat.
Smart equity loan. It's a simple way to help people get their
I'm
finances back on track.
I have to turn. In one direction or another, I'm going to turn.
And that means not paying high interest.
Man, I don't think I've ever been out this way.
You're never going to get out of the cycle of debt when you're paying 21-25% interest rates. Anyway, you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It'll use your home's equity to pay off high interest debt, free up your cash flow. The average customer right now is saving $800 a month. That's over $10,000 in a year. Yet you're free, no pressure, no obligation. Consultation 866-615-9200.
Oh, it's Old Wooden Bridge.
866-615-9200.
Old wood covered bridge. Wow.
It's AmericanFinancing.net.
Oh wow, look at the water here. The side of the road. I'm gonna do some recording around here.
Details about credit costs and terms, visit
Place to pull over.
www.financing.net/entity.
Bold, inspired solutions for America. Sean Hannity is on.
Lockport. This was built 1990. Huh. They must have had to rebuild it. Oh wow, yeah. Is this the Tiffin River or what is it?
I learned early what happens when a family isn't protected.
Lockport Cemetery. I think I could park over there.
My kids would never go through that. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast, easy, and affordable to get life insurance. 100% online, no medical exam. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get $1 million in coverage for around $37 a month. For me, it's about knowing my family will be protected financially if I'm not here.
Get your free quote at ethos.com.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to take my glasses off because I don't want them to get all spotted up. We'll do some recording on my good phone.
/news. Paid spokesperson online.
Be right back.
Required. Times down application may vary. Price may vary. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
We all make promises to ourselves to live healthier, eat better, move more, drink smarter. With Aquasana water filters, drinking smarter is effortless. Aquasana turns every tap in your home into a source of cleaner, healthier, better tasting water without all the plastic bottles. Their filters reduce chlorine, PFAS, microplastics, and other unwanted impurities while keeping the essential minerals your body needs like potassium and calcium. You'll notice the difference right away in every sip, every meal, even every shower. From washing produce to brewing coffee to winding down at night, Aquasana helps protect your home and your family from harmful contaminants in your water. Because healthy living starts with healthy water. So make the switch that's better for you, your family, and the planet. Visit Aquasana.com and use promo code SXM to get up to 50% off select systems. That's AQUASANA.com. Promo code SXM. Aquasana. Better water, better living.
In sports and in life, some things never go out of style. Heart, hustle, and patriotism. Black Rifle Coffee Company didn't find patriotism in 2026. They were founded on it. Built by veterans, BRCC has always stood for discipline, effort, and backing the people who put in the work. As America celebrates its 250th birthday, Black Rifle Coffee is fueling students, athletes, and fans who know that nothing worth winning comes easy. That mindset carries beyond the field. BRCC continues to support veterans, first responders, and American communities. Fuel up for early workouts, tailgates, or on your commute with Waken the Neighbors. Power through the day with Cactus Squash, or keep tradition alive with the Spirit of 76 roast. And BRCC is kicking off 2026 strong. Try the new cold brew coffee cans in just black and vanilla, cold, smooth, and loaded with caffeine. Or grab Grape X, their new zero sugar grape energy drink with 200 milligrams of caffeine. Veteran founded, American roasted. Black Rifle Coffee is America's coffee. Pick it up at Walmart, Target, Kroger, your local Black Rifle coffee shop, or at blackriflecoffee.com. Every business is asking the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are endless, and guessing is too risky. But sitting on the sidelines is not an option, because one thing is almost certain. Your competitors are already making their move. No more waiting. With NetSuite by Oracle, you can put AI to work today. NetSuite is the #1 AI cloud ERP, trusted by over 43,000 businesses. It's the unified suite that brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM into a single source of truth. That connected data is what makes your AI smarter, so it doesn't just guess, it knows. And you've got total flexibility, because now with NetSuite AI Connector, you can use the AI of your choice to connect to your actual business data and ask every question you ever had, from key customers to cash on hand to inventory trends. Plus, automate those tiresome manual processes. Let's see your competitors do that. Right now, get the business guide Demystifying AI free at netsuite.com/nation. That's netsuite.com/nation.
Guys, if you want the greatest night of your life, I mean your best night ever, then you gotta hear this. There's a great ED pill out, and it's from the makers of Viagra. It's their ED pill called Viagra AGV, and it's unbelievable. It works super fast in as little as 12 minutes and lasts up to 12 hours. Plus, it's FDA approved and safe. You need to try it for yourself. It's unreal what it does to you. Viagra AGV crushes every other ED pill, and it's endorsed by the head of urology at the prestigious Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Beverly Hills, Dr. Dudley Danoff. Every man alive needs to try this amazing, remarkable Viagra AGV pill at least once. It's beyond belief. Then you'll know why men are going crazy over it. So if you want to have the most incredible night of your life, you can't miss this. Go to scoreblue.com and try it while supplies last. Go to scoreblue.com, scoreblue.com. That's scoreblue.com. Viagra AGV is available only at scoreblue.com by prescription, no doctor visit.
This is Sirius XM Patriots, channel 125.
All right, we continue our final moments with all things self-described simple man, all things Bill O'Reilly, all things O'Reilly at BillO'Reilly.com. All right, I'd be negligent if I don't pivot here and get your thoughts on where we are with Iran and the two very specific things that I want to get your thoughts on. This broke just before we came on the air today that Iranian intelligence, New York Times reporting, operatives, their intelligence operatives, signaling an openness to talk with the CIA to end the war. Obviously, they're getting clobbered. Now, I don't think Trump is going to be open to that. Number two, I had Steve Witkoff on. I am tired of misinformation, conspiracy theories being peddled. One, you and I both have known Donald Trump for over 30 years. He's a man of his own mind. He doesn't do anything he does not believe he wants to do. But Steve Witkoff, Middle East envoy, along with Jared Kushner, they went, and the president sent them on a real mission. He did not want to have any conflict. He preferred a peaceful solution. And Steve went into great specificity and detail of what happened behind the scenes. And in that negotiation, they offered, okay, if you want civilian use, low grade, low enriched uranium, we'll give it to you for free in perpetuity. In those negotiations, they declared they had 460 kilograms of enriched uranium at about 60%. In about a week or two, you can be up to 90% enriched.
It's getting chilly out.
Weapons grade uranium at that
point. All
right,
let's find the other part here.
He made a statement prior to the epic Fury beginning that we're within weeks of them having a nuke. That would have allowed them to have anywhere between...
Drive to downtown Stryker, Ohio.
Nuclear weapons. Right. So I don't think the president had a choice. If anybody, you're a historian,
like 4 miles down the road.
The history in the last century, and you and I discussed this a week ago. You know, it is far better to kill a Hitler before they do, before mass death and a Holocaust emerges. I think we agree on that.
Okay. Few points.
I'll splice those together and upload them.
Exactly that. That if you're going to let evil go and you're going to accept,
I got to have this uploaded by in the next 30 minutes or so.
Number two, on your television,
get paid for it.
The main negotiator of the United States.
Not bad, $50.
So people who hate Trump, the Democrats aren't going to believe Witkoff, but yeah, I do. I believe him. Okay, so that information goes back. And then number three, I had a person-to-person, rather lengthy telephone call with President Trump, just him and me, about a week before this action started, and he asked me about a negotiation rather than a military strike. And I can't give you the specifics, but I said you can try it and you should try it, but it's probably not going to work. All right? Because the Iranians, number one, are liars. They break every treaty they sign and pass no bomb.
Actually, my hands are cold. Holy crap.
And number two, they don't believe that you're going to start something. And
the river runs along the left-hand side here.
Now going forward,
yeah, it's decent, man. Ooh, it's a nice behind now. Nice.
From whoever is running the country in Iran to President Trump try to negotiate some kind of ceasefire. I believe that will happen. And I think that if they capitulate, that the president will take that. All right? And that should start, I would say, within a week to 10 days. I think that America and Israel want to punish the Iranians a little bit more, knock out a few more things so they
So I guess it's going to take me up over the river again up here.
But I am expecting a restart of the negotiation and the capitulation of the Iranians. Now,
this field drops off into it's called the Tiffin River, I think.
I will tell you this,
I guess not.
That the one thing that can't happen, and it was interesting to see that the new Supreme Leader, apparently, according to some reports, including the Jerusalem Post, was injured already.
Lockport. It's a Mennonite. Lockport Mennonite. So it's not Amish out here, it's Mennonites. That's why they're using electricity and stuff. There's the carriage. There's one of the carriages.
And there was a lot of conflict during the vote, and there's questions about whether or not he actually won that vote.
Oh, but they don't have electricity to that. Oh, yeah, they do. They got lights on inside there. And Mennonites are a lot more lax with the rules than the true Amish. Yeah, Stryker. Welcome to Stryker, where you make the difference. Home of the Panthers. I've never been to this town.
The problem is that they'll say they'll do it and then they won't do it.
You can find the river, though.
That's always a problem. At this point in history, it's worth President Trump trying to get this thing not just the United States, but the West. Send a message that, look, we're not going to let this stuff happen in Afghanistan or Syria or wherever it may be. All right? God knows.
Listen, we're just short on time, but we do appreciate you being with us as always. All things Simple Man, Bill O'Reilly at BillO'Reilly.com. Mr. O'Reilly, sir, appreciate you. Thanks for being with us. Good luck in all your endeavors. And as always, thank you for being here.
All right, Andy. Thanks for having me on.
Pretty patriotic out here. There's lots of flags. I gotta find the river though. Like I said, I've never been to. I don't think that's the river. It's just a creek.
She was told it was her investment and that he would personally book all her vacations, all lies. She called her rep Chris the next morning at 4:57 a.m. to cancel, and she was told it was too late. You had your chance yesterday. Another lie. She has 10 days in Tennessee. I am in a war with the timeshare industry because people keep buying their lives and they don't want me to help you. If you need a timeshare, I'm sure one of the 3,500 people that call my office weekly would love to give you one of theirs. Or go online.
I'll just cruise around for a minute. I got time.
The insanity. Don't wait another day.
Call Wesley now.
Just go pull over and open up a geographical map. I'm pretty sure it's to my right. I think we went back over it already.
800-316-5454.
Golfers over 50 need to hear this. You have a problem no one is talking about. Longevity. Are you losing distance, dealing with pain or discomfort, or losing mobility? Maybe you can't play 2 days in a row, or are worried about surviving a golf trip with your buddies. Bar for Success has helped over 15,000 golfers just like you with science-backed one-on-one online
Quick here.
fits your schedule. Tell Father time to come back.
I may run in there and ask, but let's see if I can find it myself here.
That's bar the number 4 success.com.
Striker Local Schools. It's their high school, right?
Afraid to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have.
Yeah, I got my hands all. See me almost wipe out going over that guardrail.
Call now. 800-575-41. Don't lose.
Hey, Jody.
TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,005.
Let me pull it up real quick, see if I can find it. Found the river.
Don't be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com.
I'm nowhere around it. Shit.
800-575-4181. That's 800-575-4181. Relief Advocates, real solutions for
How
real
was that?
people.
I was just looking.
Larry over here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama. My mom stated. He tells us after taking Relief Active for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain has started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten. End of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Active can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid.
Oh, there it is. It's to the
on
west.
the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try
Good on that side.
yourself
Okay,
and
it's
see
to my
what it
left.
can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week
Let's
kickstart
see.
and see what Relief Factor can do for
I
you.
go.
800 for relief. 800 the number.
Looks like a good bridge there.
Relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. You feel to be out of pain. 800 for relief. Relieffactor.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Imagine relying on a dozen different software programs to run your business, none of which are connected. And each one works
3 minutes away.
and more complicated than the last. It can be pretty stressful. Now imagine Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one platform, giving you peace of mind that your business is being taken care of from every angle. Odoo has user-friendly applications for CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and everything in between. Basically, if your business needs it, Odoo's got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sounds pretty amazing.
Getting a bunch of them today.
So stop depending on all those expensive, disconnected platforms and let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. Sign up today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Odoo. Modern management made simple.
You know how those instant life insurance quotes work, right? Answer some questions online and bam.
Tesla behind me.
It's simple, except you have no idea how the algorithm came up with that life insurance rate. And research shows those companies can really overcharge. And AccuQuote, we hide behind algorithms. And our 40 years of expertise can save you 50% on your life insurance. Visit AccuQuote.com. That's ACC.
Right up here ahead of me, too.
Discover up to a 50% difference in pricing for yourself. Visit AccuQuote.com.
Looks like a better one over here. Oh, shit. There's a train there. Let's just go to this one first. Man, this rain's coming down hard. Oh, it's just like an overpass. Oh. Yep, Tiffin River. Rupp Landing, it says.
No stone left
It's private property, no trespassing there. All right, let's just do a turnaround here.
Tax season is also scam season. You got to remember that fraudsters do pretty much anything they can do to steal your information. They'll use calls and texts and emails. They'll pose as the IRS. They'll use urgent language to pressure you into sharing private data. They may even demand payment in the form of cards, which the real IRS does not accept. It is
Springfield Township Park District. Okay.
Affecting all of our lives. Lots of places now can accidentally.
I'm gonna go stand in the rain over there and get a couple more shots.
They're there. They monitor millions of data points every second of every day for any risk to your identity. Now, LifeLock will detect and alert you to any potential threat that you're never going to spot on your phone. Loans taken out in your name, crimes committed by thieves that pretend to be you.
All right. Take off the glasses.
Identity theft, you'll get a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist.
I'll be right back.
Protect yourself, your name, your finances, your reputation. Right now, we get 4% off the first year. Use the promo code Hannity when you call 1-800-LifeLock or just go to lifelock.com. Promo code Hannity, 1-800-LifeLock, lifelock.com. Now, I do believe that this interview that we did with Steve Witkoff last night was very deep, very profound. It's the second time we've had him on. And Steve Witkoff laid out in great specificity and detail as he and Jared Kushner sat with the Iranians. And the Iranians came to the table and they were cocky. You would think after Midnight Hammer they wouldn't be so cocky. You would think they may have learned a lesson or two. They did not. And they proceeded to make the declaration that it was their inalienable right to have nuclear weapons and enrichment. Okay. And Witkoff answered, yeah, and it's our right, by the way, to tell you that you can't. And so it started there. They were being cocky. But remember, they've kind of been trained to do this, although Midnight Hammer should have altered their thinking. And then they went on to say that they had, enough 60% enriched uranium, which would 460 kilograms, I believe, or 80 kilograms, whatever the number is, and that would equal 10 or 11 nuclear weapons that they'd be able to build, because it would only take to enrich uranium from 60% to weapons grade 90%. That can happen in a matter of a week or two, and that quickly they will have weapons grade uranium. That means they can build the bomb. That means they would be an existential threat. Now, there are some people, isolationists, and some people that don't understand the Trump doctrine. Trump on his own said very clearly they cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's why 14 bunker busters were dropped on the nuclear facilities in the first place. And then they went right back to pursuing, bigger ballistic missiles and also enriching uranium. And of course, they are bragging about having all this uranium in their possession. And that means they can turn it into weapons-grade uranium whenever they feel like it. Now, Donald Trump has said again and again and again, he wants a deal. He doesn't want to have a conflict with Iran. Steve Witkoff, I'm going to play all this interview because it's critical that people understand. There's a lot of lying going out there that Donald Trump was influenced by Bibi or Israel or Fox News. I mean, it's just crap. It's a lie. Donald Trump, I've been over 30 years. I can promise you one thing: he will listen to everybody, but then he makes up his own mind. I don't know if you noticed, Linda, that I'm under fire by people that didn't like the fact that he didn't listen to them. Now, people don't know what I gave my opinion about what I think should happen. I never told Donald Trump what to do or not do. I wouldn't be so bold to do it. He has information that I don't have access to. But I did agree with his declaration, just like Biden's declaration, just like Harris's declaration, just like Obama's declaration, just like Clinton's declaration, that Iran can never have nuclear weapons. The only difference is they thought they could bribe the supreme leaders and mullahs into, being very nice and cooperative. Well, they just gave them money to build out their nuclear weapon systems. and other weapon systems and foment terror as the world's number one state sponsor of terror. But to put to bed, at least for intelligent people that want the truth, not those people that have agendas, not those people that are isolationists, not those people that don't understand the Trump doctrine, but people want to really understand Donald Trump's thinking on this. I think it all goes back to the president saying over and over again, I prefer peace. I want a peace deal. And he wasn't wasting his time. He sent Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner on a mission to get a peace deal. Here's my interview with Steve Witkoff.
You are so crystal clear, Steve, on this program, but I am tired of people not hearing you and not hearing the president. Number one, the president sent you on a mission. He meant it when he said he wants a deal. Did he not?
He did, Sean. We were tasked with determining if we could get a deal that achieved his objectives and a deal that could be enforced and a deal that they would not break. And we were intent on getting it if we could.
All right, Iran nukes. Let's see. Hillary Clinton said it, Barack Obama said it, Joe Biden said it, Kamala Harris said it, and Donald Trump said it. And the president, again, was begging them basically for a deal. Now, they made this negotiation impossible. There are two parts of this. I want you to explain, number one, what you offered and what their demand was in response to your very generous offer.
Well, first of all, Sean, they opened up with telling us that they had the inalienable right to enrich, to which we responded that from President Trump, that we had the inalienable right to stop them from enriching. So, but they opened up by challenging us. Their next statement to us was 460 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium. 60% enriched uranium.
All right.
Take a week, maybe 10 days. To bring up to
It's getting chilly out.
So it was a clear threat. They were boasting about having it, and they said that was going.
All right, we're gonna go to that one more spot, another overpass. There's like a little natural dam built there of debris. It's got the water's a lot higher on one side of that bridge than the other. Like I said, I'll put all these together into one recording and upload it.
They said to us, and this was some challenge, you're not going to get this diplomatically what you could not achieve militarily. Now, yes, we had destroyed their three main enrichment and conversion centers, Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow. That was clear. They, of course, didn't want to admit it. But think about the notion of beginning a negotiation by saying that we would
oh, wait, road's up here. I almost turned into that driveway. Looking at the wrong navigation.
We did achieve militarily, but they were basically saying that we didn't, and they weren't going to give it to us anyway.
Steve, I paid very close attention. I always pay close attention to what's in the press and what you say. I've known you for a long time. When they told you that 460 kilograms of enriched uranium at 60%, you and I both know.
Yeah, the snow's supposed to come tonight here.
Would take a matter of weeks. You made that statement public before anything happened. At that point,
let me see if there's any better shots over here.
Not only to the region, but to the United States. Do you believe it was a threat?
It's Sean, it's a week to a week and a half away from bringing it up to weapons grade. There would be no purpose to bring it up to weapons grade unless
let me see. I don't even know if there's a place to park up there by the bridge.
So it was very, very clear to us that with that amount of weapons grade material, that they had every intention of seeking a weapon. It was not.
Yeah, the shoulder looks pretty soft.
Anything else?
And I believe they would hold the wall.
Yeah, see how the water's up here? It's all kind of flooded back there.
Enriched uranium below 20% for civilian purposes. I would even argue with all their oil, they wouldn't need that. But with that said, you were very clear that you offered this low-level enriched uranium for civilian purposes. Now, I want to be very clear. What you told me, you offered it to them for free.
It's just a field. Flooded field there.
In perpetuity, if
they would not enrich, and that obviously would include, genuine American inspectors anywhere, any place, anytime. I assume was included.
That's correct. Well, oversight protocols were very basic here because they violated all the protocols. They threw the IEA out in June after Midnight Hammer, and if you're doing something if you're innocent.
I'm gonna mute you guys for a second. All right, I'm back.
For civilian purposes, why would you need to throw out the oversight people from the IEA? So the oversight protocols were embedded and critical to this process. In terms of
Let me see if I can just find
in terms of their enrichment,
Tiffin River Rec Area, Stryker, Ohio.
very clear. They had
There ain't
plenty of
shit.
20% material. That, by the way, was another telling sign of their insidious motives. And as I said, they had the 60%. We had a red line on enrichment.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way. River's up.
Convert to a civil 1-2-3 non-enrichment program. And what you're referring to is, as a little extra, we suggested to them that we would provide fuel to them for free for a long period of time. And their response to that, you would think they would feel that was gracious. But the response to us was that this was an assault on their dignity. Now, it was very, very clear that was an excuse, a subterfuge, to hide behind the fact that they needed enrichment, required enrichment, not because they were doing anything good. It's because they had to get to a weapon. That's how they felt that they would have increased power in the Mideast, that it would have changed the dynamic in the Mideast, and we couldn't allow it.
Pull over for a second. I don't want to be playing on my phone going through this little town. They love to fucks with you in these little towns.
And the president was very clear-minded about it.
There are a lot of conspiracy theorists out there. I've known the president for 30 years, Steve. He's a man of his mind. If he makes up his mind, it's his mind. People suggesting, he was doing Israel's bidding. And I asked Bibi. Bibi actually laughed when I asked him. Or Israel's bidding. Do you believe, as somebody that's been in the room negotiating with them, that a nuclear-armed Iran, and the president talked about future generations in the beginning, would it at some point become a real clear present danger to our country, maybe sooner than later?
They were a clear and present danger, in our opinion, right then and there in those negotiations. It was clear to us.
Wow.
And the president was exhaustive in asking us.
Yeah, we should be good. I'm not seeing any other good vantage points.
We had no space, and we reported it to him earnestly.
This one right here kind of looks like it would be cool.
He showed incredible courage and leadership here, Sean. The country ought to be.
I'd like to just go here. I don't even know what this. Wish you could mark something on the map and just go there.
After Midnight Hammer, Steve, he would have thought they would have learned something. Apparently not. Steve Witkoff, now let the record be clear for everybody. We appreciate you being on with us. Thank you so much.
Right, that was Steve Witkoff, the Middle East envoy, and he can't be any more clear than he was right there as to why Donald Trump made the decision that he made.
Oh, this is the way I came in.
Engage in Operation Epic Fury, and by the way, he gave the Iranians 50 days before Operation Midnight Hammer. Health, wellness, fitness, nutrition, longevity. I know everyone's talking about it, the Maha movement. That's where my friend Peter Harris, his family come in. Now, if you go down the cereal aisle at your local grocery store, Just look at the ingredients. See how.
Oh, this is where I already went over there. Okay.
These cereals are not exactly health oriented.
Yep.
They're not.
All right, cool.
They taste great. Not health oriented.
All right, now I'm gonna pull over and get these uploaded. Oh, I see the puppers.
Bran flakes, raisin bran, honey nut, cinnamon frosted. Anyone, they all taste great. And you're gonna see Grainberry is much lower in sugar and is made with natural plant-based fiber.
Okay, yeah, that's where it just came out. Okay, cool. Kind of made a loop in town there.
Onyx sorghum, and that helps to slow sugar absorption in your body. In other words, it's
about 10 minutes to get this shit uploaded.
They all taste great.
Sure, I got a real good signal on here though.
At the local grocery store. While you're there, another great product they made. No sugar no sugar added. What is it called?
I'll get a picture of the striker sign here.
Self-propelled pasta sauce. Glad to be of service.
You actually said it decently today. Self-propelled pasta sauce is what you use.
You know what it is? It's starting to sound right.
Just gonna get a picture of the welcome to striker sign over here.
No sugar added. And here's the thing. Check it out at your local grocery store. They're the official foods of the Sean Hannity Show. Grainberry cereals and Silver Palette pasta sauce. And if you don't have it at your local grocery store, ask for it. That's Grainberry cereal, Silver Palette pasta sauce. Will continue.
The final hour of the Sean Hannity Show is up next. Hang on for Sean's Conservative Solutions.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $88,000.
All right, I'm going to pull up here and turn around. It's like a little pump station or something here.
It reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. The following is free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for
generator,
Social Security benefits.
a big LP tank there, probably generator inside there.
The Social Security report.
The pump.
Get it free. Call 800-999-9690.
All right,
800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply. Every business is asking the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are endless, and guessing is too risky. But sitting on the sidelines is not an option, because one thing is almost certain. Your competitors are already making their move. No more waiting. With NetSuite by Oracle, you can put AI to work today. NetSuite is the #1 AI cloud ERP, trusted by over 43,000 businesses.
Everybody still there?
A unified suite that brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and
I'm almost an hour away.
source of truth. That connected
Reds.
data is what makes your AI smarter. So it doesn't
Okay,
just
let's get this
it
uploaded.
knows. And you've got total flexibility, because now with NetSuite AI Connector, you can use the AI of your choice to connect to your actual business data and ask every question you ever had, from key customers to cash on hand to inventory trends. Plus, automate those tiresome manual processes. Let's see your competitors do that. Right now, get the Business Guide Demystifying AI free at netsuite.com/markets. That's netsuite.com/markets. Emergencies are going to happen, and reliable communication could be the difference between life and death. What if you couldn't reach your kids or your parents because your cell phone service is down or the power's out? That's not just frustrating,
Lockport
it's
Wood Covered
dangerous.
Bridge, Striker,
Put your
Ohio.
mind at ease with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies. Go to rapidradios.com today and save up to 60% on
Lockport Wood Covered
emergency-ready
Bridge,
walkie-talkies.
Striker, Ohio.
You'll get the first year of service free with no contracts and no monthly fees ever.
Lockport
These
Wood Covered
only
Bridge,
walkie-talkies
Striker,
that
Ohio.
connect you with a
Why
nationwide
won't this
LTE
search?
network to deliver clear, dependable communication when it matters most. They're built to withstand extreme conditions, have a long battery life, and will provide you and your family with life-saving communication. Visit rapidradios.com today. That's Rapid Radios. Communication redefined. Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road, and they're responsible for so much. Acceleration, braking, steering, and handling. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it easy. You'll get fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, and convenient installation options. Try mobile installation. They'll bring your new tires to your home or office and install them on site. The Tire Rack has the best selection of tires from world-class brands. And they don't just sell tires, they test them on the road and on their test track. Learn how the tires you want tackle evasive maneuvers, drive and stop in the rain, or just handle your everyday commute. Go to TireRack.com to see their tire test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews. And be sure to check out all the current special offers. That's TireRack.com. TireRack.com. The way tire buying should be.
This is Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125.
We got to update you on the Save America Act. We have the House Majority Leader, John Thune, saying he doesn't have the votes yet. Mike Lee is going to update us on the standing filibuster, what the options are available. It is coming to the Senate floor. That I can confirm. Bucky Schumer on the Save Act. He thinks it's undermining the vote. That is the only prayer Republicans have in the midterms. No, I don't think so, Chucky, but let's play it.
On the SAVE Act, Donald Trump has given Republicans in Congress a ridiculous ultimatum. Help him thoroughly undermine our democracy, or he will bring all legislation to a screeching halt. What kind of president is this? Sounds like a pouting second grader. Even though it's clear that the SAVE Act has little chance of becoming law, Donald Trump is still hell-bent on getting Republicans to ram this bill through the chamber because he thinks undermining the vote is the only prayer Republicans have in the midterms. Isn't that pathetic? Republicans think they're doing so bad that they must undermine democracy and prevent tens of millions of Americans from voting? Donald Trump has said it himself. He said if Republicans can pass the SAVE Act, it'll guarantee the midterms. Let me read that again. Donald Trump says if Republicans pass the SAVE Act, it'll guarantee the midterms. This is outrageous.
Chuck, let's see. First he said it's Jim Crow 2.0. Now he's out there suggesting that millions of people will be kicked off the voter rolls. Why, because they can't prove they're citizens? Maybe they shouldn't be on there to begin with. Just saying. Just a thought. I don't know. Possibly.
Where the fuck did
anyway, when we come back, Mike Lee and Ted Cruz in particular have been strong advocates of the standing filibuster. John Thune says they don't have the votes for it yet, but Mike Lee also making the case that if you keep the vote open, then the possibility of more people coming on board exists. We'll find out the latest strategies on this, update you on it on the other side, and your calls coming up as well, 800-941-SEAN, if you want to be a part of the program.
Experts agree your portfolio isn't truly diversified unless you own physical gold. For the past quarter century, every price dip has turned out to be a buying opportunity in gold's upward climb. Central banks worldwide are stockpiling gold to diversify their reserves amid global uncertainties, driving further demand and scarcity. This is the moment to get involved. Right now, Global Coin is offering a museum-quality 1-ounce 2026 MS-70 Gold Eagle, America's 250th anniversary issue, at today's spot price of gold. No dealer markup. Perfect grade government issue. The first 50 buyers receive our hardcover, critically acclaimed book, Modern Numismatic Masterpieces, absolutely free. This opportunity is brief. Supply is finite. Once this allocation is gone, it's gone. Call Global Coin right now, 833-MINT-MARK. That's 833-MINT-MARK. Anchor your wealth with the asset that offers resilience, rarity, and real ownership. Call 833-MINT-MARK. Global Coin.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you. People who value speaking to the right people at the right time. That's why we answer the phone ourselves, to understand you and help you invest for the life you want, because you've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a human connection. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hennion and Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion and Walsh Inc. under FINRA SIPC.
And under our leadership, the forgotten men and women will be forgotten no longer. With your help, your love, and your vote, we will put America first, and we will make America great again.
Freedom never gets old. Celebrating America 250, Sirius XM Patriot.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Iran is keeping up pressure on oil infrastructure as nations exchange fire.
Israel and Iran exchanged fire early Wednesday, with Tehran keeping up pressure on the region's oil industry, targeting infrastructure and ships as global energy concerns mount and the war in the Middle East shows no sign of abating. 2 Iranian drones hit near Dubai International Airport, home to the long-haul carrier Emirates and the world's busiest for international travel. 4 people were wounded, but flights continued. In addition, a projectile hit a container ship off the coast of Oman in the Strait of Hormuz, setting it ablaze and forcing the crew to abandon the vessel. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
There will be a runoff to replace a House seat in Georgia.
After Tuesday's special election, Republican Clay Fuller and Democrat Sean Harris have advanced to an April 7th runoff for Marjorie Taylor Greene's former U.S. House seat in Georgia. President Donald Trump endorsed Fuller, who was likely to be a favorite in the runoff in Northwest Georgia's 14th congressional district. Harris was the Democratic nominee in 2024 when he lost to Greene. He's promising moderation and a focus on the district's problems. The winner will serve out the remaining months of Greene's term. Republicans need the win to help bolster the party's slim majority in the House. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Tornadoes have killed at least 2 people in northwest Indiana and leveled buildings in Kankakee, Illinois. The Newton County
Kankakee tornado
Wednesday confirmed the deaths of an elderly couple in their home in Lake Village, Indiana. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 289 points, the Nasdaq rose 19, the S&P 500 declined 5. More on these stories at townhall.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Virginia senators are pushing to curtail a 5.3% tax break for data centers.
The policy proposal comes while many communities are trying to defeat data center projects in zoning proceedings, and some states are reconsidering their sales tax exemptions. It's not guaranteed that Virginia will end up taxing data centers. The governor and other high-ranking lawmakers say they're concerned the tax would end industry investment in the state. Still, lawmakers campaign to end such tax exemptions have stirred bipartisan support. Officials negotiating the tax policy have until Saturday to agree on and pass a budget.
I lose everybody.
Over the past 18 years, Virginia has become the world's largest data center hub. Dozens of communities nationwide are fighting data centers. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
Hey, Jeff, looks like your business is really booming, even in a tough time for businesses like ours.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, thanks to LendSeek, our business was able to take care of some outstanding bills and taxes and to purchase inventory and expand our product lines. Wow. You know, my business needs working capital, but only from a reputable company that I can trust and count on. How does LendSeek work? Fast and easy. Just apply at lendseek.com. Their AI lending platform gave my business access to over 100 funding programs with one simple application. And it costs nothing to apply. At lendseek.com, you can receive business funding with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. Whatever your funding needs are, seek no more. Our AI lending marketplace has you covered. If you've been in business at least 1 year with annual revenue of at least $250,000, you could get the funding your business needs in as little as 24 hours. There's no obligation, so apply today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com. Mike Keppel here, Patriot Software's founder. I started my entrepreneurial journey selling greeting cards door to door when I was 10. At age 16, I had workers' comp insurance for my employees. Some kids were good at sports, but I was a business geek kind of a kid. While other kids were making home runs, I was making money. That's when I learned about capitalism and free enterprise.
All right,
That's
done.
Patriot Software helps entrepreneurs build their businesses and keep their money. For affordable accounting and payroll, go to patriotsoftware.com. Wesley Financial Group is not an law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell for Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-475-1818. That's 800-475-1818.
All right, let's get the flock out. Which way am I supposed to be going? I think I'm going the right way.
This was just an excursion into something that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that too.
Do you vote for Marco over the Democrat? Yes. Over Newsom? Yes. Over Kamala? Yes.
Do you have a Zoolander problem?
No, I can't. Jesus. Yes, Zoolander. It's just who I am. It's just who I am. You're right. I've got Trump derangement syndrome. I hate the mother. And you know what? I don't want to get rid of it. Freedom is back in style. Welcome to the revolution. We're coming to your city. Your land is ours, and you got your soul. Sean Hannity Show. More behind-the-scenes information on breaking news. More bold, inspired solutions for America. Coming up next, our final news roundup and information overload hour.
All right, News Roundup, Information Overload Hour. Our toll-free telephone number is 800-941-SEAN if you want to be a part of the program. All right, so I know many people like myself want the SAVE Act to be passed in the U.S. Senate. It's passed in the House, and it would become law. It is an 83-17 issue in terms of the American people. Even
Says I'm still streaming.
Democrats support the
Chat
idea
got quiet.
of citizenship and voter ID for integrity in elections so people can have confidence in results. Democrats, the same people that have defunded the Department of Homeland Security, meaning that means FEMA, and that means the Coast Guard, and that means the Secret Service, and obviously ICE and Department of Homeland Security and everything in between. That party, the defund dismantle party, the party of sanctuary cities and states and free benefits for people that don't respect the laws and borders. Like Chucky Schumer saying on the SAVE Act, Trump thinks undermining the vote is the only prayer Republicans have in the midterm. Okay, no, that's not true.
On the SAVE Act, Donald Trump has given Republicans in Congress a ridiculous ultimatum. They'll hit him thoroughly screeching point. What kind of president is this? It sounds like a pouting second grader. Even though it's clear that the SAVE Act has little chance of becoming law, Donald Trump is still hell-bent on getting Republicans to ram this bill through the chamber because he thinks undermining the vote is the only prayer Republicans have in the midterms. Isn't that pathetic?
Now, let me play for you a couple of cuts here. This is Senator Mike Lee, who will join us in a moment, pushing the talking filibuster. We've had him and Ted Cruz on about this issue to get the SAVE Act passed. Here's what he says.
All right, so we're one step closer now to getting the Save America Act on the Senate floor. How exactly that's going to happen? Well, we're still working on that. There's a lot of uncertainty and some concern, but we're working on it. The important point right now is, of course, to refocus our energy on making sure we get the best arguments we can possibly put forward on this bill. Now, look, I still believe the very best shot we got at doing this is invoking the talking filibuster. Make Democrats stand up, get recognized, and speak. If they want to filibuster the bill, don't give it to them for free. Don't let them have the benefits of the filibuster while they're napping or on vacation or whatever else it is that they do. Make them actually show up and speak. I'm going to continue to argue for that. Regardless of what Senate Republican leadership thinks, I'm not going to back away from the fact that I think that is the best possible chance of passing this bill. Perhaps the only way. Regardless, we got to be prepared for what it is that happens when it gets to the floor. So let's continue to advance the arguments for the bill itself and for the strategy that we think is best. If not us, who? If not now, when? Well, we've got an 85-15 issue that is also critical to preserving the integrity of our
very perverted election processes that are already in play, saying that oath prohibits you. Just be a good person and uphold your oath. It prohibits you from turning. So she's saying, I'm about to prosecute you. She has already prosecuted a bunch of people in Arizona over this stuff, so we believe her. She's willing to do it. We cannot overstate the importance of protecting. It's data. If there are people on the rolls, if there are dead people voting, if there are people born in the 1900s voting, if there's people who are 160 years old on the rolls, or they're on there in duplicate fashion, or if they're offices receives a federal grand jury subpoena, another one, we already got one, demanding that you turn over voters' private data, we urge you to notify our offices immediately. The grand jury should not serve to circumvent Arizona's lawsuit. Our offices will pursue all legal actions to prevent the DOJ from misusing the grand jury process. I implore you, basically, I beg you, to fulfill your oath by declining any such illegal demands. Our offices are committing to upholding the sanctity of Arizona's elections and democratic process. No, you're not. We will pursue to the fullest extent of the law all possible remedies to ensure the integrity of Arizona's elections. Stop checking the rolls. You can't let the feds do that. And privacy rights of its citizens. So I don't know about you, but that sounds nervous. Okay, they are very concerned that if somebody else continues to hand over this data, it's going to catch them with their hands in the cookie jar. So that's when Chris Mays and Adrian Fontes and Katie Hobbs was all over X today crying about this. And we've already investigated this. I'm a real governor. I'm a real attorney general. I swear. And if you challenge that, I'll prosecute you with a felony. That's what's happening here in Free Fair, Arizona. So the Atlantic gives us more on this about how they came across this letter. They say Arizona is now at the center of election investigations, and it always was one of the main hubs you know that in Fulton County, it has the same pattern. Like many states back in 2020 were flipped by about 10,000, 11,000 votes. It's like 12,000 votes in Georgia. It's like 11,000 votes in Arizona. Very close margins in other key swing states. And it was all in the back of COVID. Here's more from the planning. Said both the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are probing 2020, saying back in mid-February, Kristi Noem was okay, and the message was less surprising now. A week after this event, Arizona acting special agent in charge from HSI. I'm sure all of this is being leaked by the Arizona officials. A state investigator asked, why does the government want to...
Oh, no worries. The chat just went dead silent. Well, I was stopped uploading it. I was like, oh man, did I disconnect? And then I disconnected right afterwards. I jinxed myself.
He wasn't acting on direction from DC. People are speaking on innocent anonymity. The HSI investigation into Arizona, which has not previously been reported, the fact that HSI is involved, we know that the FBI came in, got the records, the grand jury approved it, but now it's Homeland. This comes as the FBI is embarking on a separate probe. This is not a joint investigation. You have two federal agencies looking into this. A person familiar with the FBI told
Trying to
us,
jump on the turnpike. I'm going to stop at Red's for a minute before I run this laptop out there. I'll kill the stream there.
But they're focused on identifying.
I'm going to put together a little video of what I recorded. I mean, you can see some of it. That second place that I went to and did the recording, yeah, there's a big like a debris dam building up on the one side.
Early last year, the Trump administration ordered the creation of a small task force within Homeland Security to probe all of the election fraud. Last month, they showed up at a high school in Ohio to investigate there, and
where
the goal is to actively
look at this
fraud and restore integrity.
That's backing up big time.
Now, yesterday,
that whole field is getting flooded.
Senate President from Arizona called Warren Peterson. He wrote on X,
"That's going to be over the road if it keeps coming down."
Gobs of information over to them. He said the FBI has the records. And
yeah, that's normally just like a.
She said,
I mean, they call it the Tiffin River, but it's normally just like 25 feet across. It's normally not that big, but you can see how much it's spread onto the floodplain there with all the trees and stuff. That's what's building up that debris dam on the one side of the overpass. Well, I know what I can do. It won't be super high quality, but I can send them to you on Messenger one at a time. But I am going to build a video on it. Let me just do that.
Completely secure. No problems at all. Stop asking questions. Those efforts appear intended to validate claims that foreign actors could interfere in American elections. An ODNI official told us the agency cooperates with multiple other agencies because we don't want our elections rigged. Now, Chris Mays from Arizona, she said that her office responded to HSI and their request for public records, saying that this is not serious, okay? The election took place 6 years ago, and this is nothing but conspiracy theories, and we know what that means it's absolutely true. So emails that The Atlantic got, finally getting to some good stuff, through public records requests detail the interaction between Homeland Security investigators and the state. Back on February 20th, Homeland's Murphy met with state authorities, and a state special agent sent him an email with the subject line. So Arizona sends HSI this 2020 election audit summary in email.
Hopefully
attached to that email was
my Easy Pass works there. That's weird.
Back in February 2023, said Taylor. That report drew on records from her predecessor's tenure to address a slew of accusations by Republicans and MAGA influencers. Who's she talking about? Activists.
Begin toll in 24 miles. Okay.
In 2020, which we all saw with our own eyes. We watched it happen.
That's weird.
The Attorney General's office.
We're pretty close to the Indiana border here.
Submitted were unsupported by evidence, and these are all mischaracterizations. Everything is just We just don't understand the process, okay? We just can't see things. The allegations included assertions that votes had been counted more than once and that large numbers of votes had been cast by dead people. The AG's office, she says, we spent 10,000 hours and we investigated every claim. We went
Oh,
to
there's a state
bamboo
trooper right
ballots
there.
that came from China,
Big
to
A.
Italian spy satellites,
Identify him.
flipping votes to President Biden. It's like, okay. So these are just red herrings, as you like to call them. Bamboo ballots from China, right? They make the most insane accusation up. It's like a straw man, and then they smash that down. Oh no, it's like aliens flew
I had to drop my phone on my lap.
They adjusted the
I went by him and I dropped it on the floor. I marked him on ways though.
No one's arguing about that. Days later, Murphy wanted more information. He says, "Hey Chris, thanks for your crap report. I got some more questions for you guys. There's a bunch of stuff in your report that says it was undetermined, that you didn't come to a good conclusion on it. What do you got for us? We got some follow-up." He asked whether, have you made any conclusions in the aftermath? Like, thank you for sending me this 2023 report, but there's a bunch in there that says undetermined. Have you made any conclusions about the allegations that came after?
Oh, I dropped my phone when I had Messenger open. I thought I got it in an accident.
After the fact, we all went to bed in 2020. Trump was up.
That was
all
weird.
across the board.
So I'll send them to you. That way I'll have them already done.
There's water main breaks in Fulton County. In Arizona is continuing to just gobble up ballots, probably from Katie Hobbs's garage.
That way I can forward it to other people too.
Murphy sends back to the state. Hey, just checking in with you. I have to get a report by close of business today. So I was hoping to have some materials soon, if at all possible. Can you give us some follow-up? On Thursday, then, state investigators and the AG's criminal division, they replied to Murphy. They said, yeah, here, have a PowerPoint presentation that goes through the false claims that we had previously debunked. And they shared with him more links to their investigative work from 2020.
Do that first
now, Murphy
myself,
says,
and then I'll separate the two.
Great. Yeah, thank you guys for sharing that. Much appreciated. A couple of quick follow-up questions, though, from the feds. Based on my review and in trying to focus on the few areas that we're following up, he again asked whether the investigators had more information about late arriving ballots and allegations about the questionable ballots. So I asked you for some specifics. You sent me a useless PowerPoint. Can you answer the actual questions I originally sent before you sent me these slides? The AG's office did not respond and has no plans to do so. They said, no, we don't have answers to those. All we have is this PowerPoint.
All right, and I send these separately.
Now, the election drew intense scrutiny. The state was rigged by 10,500 votes, tiny, tiny margins. Same thing happened in Fulton. Weird, huh? 11,000 over there, 11,000 over here. So we all lost it. They say they've done plenty of investigations. They say there's no basis for anything, thanks to the MAGA influencers. Oh, gosh, the worst. Mark Feacham, a Republican state lawmaker and a Trump ally, said during an online appearance that a nonprofit he helps has been feeding research to investigators. Quite frankly, he said, we've advocated that this has been a racketeering case for a long time. And of course, the people who won the election are not going to investigate the election and find out that that election was invalid. Why? Because they would lose their position of power. So it is completely unbelievable that they would ever, no matter what you showed them, okay? You could show them Fannie Willis literally pulling ballots out of her.
Oh, I thought it would group them up.
Machine to the tune of 100 million of them. And they would say,
in all individuals.
Administrative oversight, or that wasn't big enough to change the outcome of the election.
Should all be delivered now.
Because it results in their perpetual power. This is the point of the rigging, is to put that in there. So the
one on top is the second place.
Come back and say, oh yeah, you're right.
With the debris.
Now we have to vacate our offices. Arizona state and local election officials have consistently defended the integrity, and now we're seeing them nervous. And this letter, you almost never see stuff like this from the AG's office and the Secretary of State, basically threatening all of the county reporters. To be clear, this went out to every county, it looks like, all across Arizona. Don't give up your records, because if you do, it's going to be devastating to them.
To who?
Us. And so Trump was asked about this. Hey, why do you think that the FBI came in to seize records from Arizona? And Here is what Trump had to say about this to some dumb reporter's dumb question.
Yeah, sir, in Arizona, why did the FBI seize election records in that state?
If they actually follow up on that,
Your own.
although it is Illinois, they pretty much don't give a shit about fraud in Illinois.
Oh, Bill Barr, the liar, Bill Barr, who actually didn't investigate anything. We know that Bill Barr didn't do anything. Okay, he said it's not our job. It's the state's job. And he wanted Trump out as much as everybody because he was probably also worried about his connections to Epstein and his dad hosting Epstein at the school.
The outcome of the election. There's no answer. Where's the evidence of that? Where's the evidence of that?
Yeah, fraud reporter, don't know who that was. Your own Attorney General, Bill Barr, who's been completely invalidated. He is an institutionalist through and through. He didn't do any investigations. What was the investigation that Bill Barr did into Arizona? There isn't one. That's exactly right. So, of course, that reporter has the talking points emanating out of her brain because she can't think critically for 2 seconds. Trump, look at that face. It's like the look of just total disappointment. Wow. You're just really pathetic. Really pathetic. Thank you, Mr. President. Beautiful facial features there. We appreciate that. So what are the Democrats doing now? They're also freaked. Mark Elias, one of the biggest hacks on the planet, is saying we're suing the Trump administration. They have refused to respond to our FOIA request on whether Trump plans to deploy troops to.
That's a good camera on this phone too, on my good phone. Not on the one I'm streaming on.
Drop boxes in polling places are where they rig the elections. Trump is trying to cheat and intimidate his way through the midterms.
Trying my best to stay steady. That's why I used the little monopod.
Now, Mark Elias, the guy behind this, is this guy right here. So he runs Democracy Docket, and our friend Svetlana Lakova, she's over on X, and she's reminding us about.
It's actually a tripod, I guess, because it opens up into a try at the bottom. But it's
justice for all of the election rigging. Saying here, Special Counsel Durham was going to indict Mark Elias. This guy right here who's celebrating this new lawsuit. He runs Democracy Docket. This is from the Democrats' account. But the people who are filing the lawsuit are the Democracy Docket folks on behalf of the DNC. So the DNC is now suing. So, of course, Mark Elias, just to refresh our recollection, saying if the DOJ, Svetlana, truly wanted to deal with the coup plotters, they would have indicted Mark Elias a long time ago. And I agree with that completely. Here is an excerpt from the Durham report. And remember, back in 2016, they were also trying to rig the election. They do it every time. They don't play fair because they're cheaters. And their ideas are terrible. Nobody wants to chop the genitals off your children. Nobody wants to be invaded by illegal aliens other than the illegal aliens.
Well, they're the ones that put out the request for it.
So when Trump was looking like things were going to be better than Hillary was getting devastated by her email server scandal. What happened is Mark Elias, the Clinton campaign, and Michael Sussman all colluded to seed lies with the FBI, feed them false information so that they can then say the same thing to the FBI and to the media, that Trump was working with the Russians. Russia Collusion Hoax 101. Here's the excerpt from the Durham report. As part of its investigation, the office obtained billing records from Perkins Coie, and that's one of the same law firms that got sanctioned and is now being appealed, essentially, so that they don't have to continue to have federal contracts and security clearances with Trump's government. So Perkins Coie, way back in 2016,
yeah, they sent it to me last night, but they said it wasn't due until. Oh fuck this guy.
Said that we got the billing records from them related to the representation of various individuals, including Tech Company One, Rodney Jaffe, and others. The records say that Michael Sussman, who was working with Mark Elias, they were both at Perkins Coie, they repeatedly billed the Clinton campaign for work on the Alpha Bank allegation that Trump had some financial transactions with this bank. Now, in compiling and disseminating these allegations, Sussman and Rodney Jaffe met and communicated with Mark Elias, another partner at the law firm, who was then serving as general counsel to the Clinton campaign. Now, by way of background, in April 2015, the Clinton campaign engaged Perkins Coie and Mark Elias to provide legal counseling And that scope of work included the FEC and other regulatory requirements and compliance matters. Then a few months later, DNC and the Democratic CCC, Congressional Campaign Committee, they engaged Perkins Coie, these giant law firms that are just leftist attack dogs, to help represent them. They engaged them to provide also legal advice about election compliance laws. Now, after these engagements, in the spring of 2016, Perkins Coie, Mark Elias, Michael Sussman, Rodney Jaffe, all these people engaged, remember this name? Fusion GPS, on behalf of the Clinton campaign, a third-party, Washington, D.C. based consulting firm that provides research and strategic intelligence services to clients, including corporations and law firms. They're the ones who went and got the Steele dossier, which was the made-up fake paper that said Trump is colluding with the Russians. Trump's a Russian asset. As set forth in the letter memorializing that engagement, the purpose was confusion. So the law firm hires out a third-party, expert witness consultant, happens all the time, to support legal advice to clients on defamation and other things. Now, Mark Elias explained that Perkins Coie hired Fusion for research and assisted with the Clinton campaign. As part of those services, Fusion then provided research and other services, among them that promoted the Alpha Bank allegations. All of it was ultimately fake because Fusion GPS went out and got the Steele dossier, which made up the basis of the Russia collusion hoax. And that's in the Durham report. Okay, so these are the same people who are behind this lawsuit. They are liars and cheaters, in my opinion. What they do is constantly try to engineer elections. Now they're very nervous that Trump may actually be onto them. So the DNC is suing Trump.
That's crazy, man. That to me, that sounds like harassment.
Saying they submitted a bunch of.
Sorry, that just sounds like harassment. You said you're recording how often they do it, aren't you? Keeping a note of it.
Stand on the side of voters, use every tool to stop voter suppression, which is great because in Arizona,
I don't blame you, man.
Voter suppression during our elections. People are waiting outside the ballot polling locations for a long time, various times, depending. Some 10 minutes.
Maybe if they could kick some illegals out, you'll be able to find a place to be.
Very late voter suppression on the day of the election, and they did it intentionally. So the DNC is suing, and they sought all records about whether military personnel are going to be deployed to polling locations. No response has come out. More departments not responding. The DNC filed a bunch of requests, and now they're suing. The suit cites comments by Caroline Levitt talking about having ICE at polling locations. Well, what's the problem with that? I'm not suppressed if I go to vote and I see a bunch of ICE agents outside the polling location. Why? Because I'm a legal American citizen. It doesn't concern me at all. In fact, I don't mind that. I prefer to have them there to validate that illegal aliens don't get some bravado and show up and decide that they're going to cast the ballot. When asked if she could guarantee that ICE would not be at polling locations, she said, I can't guarantee that an ICE agent won't be around a polling location. I mean, that's a very silly hypothetical. But what I can tell you, said Caroline, is I haven't heard the president discuss any of this, so it's a disingenuous question. And DHS said in an emailed response,
next week I'm going to be really busy.
Actively working on this request.
I got to be out at Green Springs at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday.
And obviously we're shut down, by the way. So we can't give you information. Oh, that's beautiful. We'd love to comply with your request, but you're not funding our agency. We want to know what Homeland's going to be doing, but we have no money. So turn the money spigot back on, and we'll comply. The lawsuit cited other monitoring programs, and they say your monitoring programs are deviating from the norm. Now, Pam Bondi said, well, monitoring is part of the effort to raise transparency. We want faith in the electoral process, and we're not going to let up. We're going to commit the resources necessary to ensure the American people get this fair, free, and transparent election that they deserve.
Yeah, they're finally going to finish that
so
fiber conversion.
They said they're going to prepare legal and voter education responses before November, I guess, to encourage illegals to come vote. But what they're ultimately concerned about is what we see here from Chuck Schumer. Wild clip here from Chuck U. Schumer. He said, you know, if we pass the SAVE Act or do anything to create election integrity, ICE is going to come and kick billions of people off the voter roll. It's pretty close to that number. Here is Schumer from yesterday.
Thank you, Leader Schumer. You recently responded to President Trump's Truth Social post regarding the Save America Act, saying that if he's going to not sign any bills until it's passed, the Senate's going to be in a total gridlock. Can you just explain, isn't this sort of a...
Well, St. Patrick's Day is Tuesday, so we're going to be at Reds for that day. I wish we'd be owning it for it, because it's one of the busiest days of the year for that place. An Irish bar, you know. I might even wear a kilt on Tuesday.
To kick tens of millions of people off the roads.
It's a million. Kind of might sound like a million, but then you have
Well, I need it.
over there.
Expensive time of year, and I'm going to need to put together a couple $1,000s more into our deposit account for the bar once the financing is approved. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
Tens of millions of people off the roads, and they don't tell them until election day. And you show them, you say, "You're not registered anymore. You're not registered here. You're not on the roads." And they say, "I didn't know that." This is a bill that destroys the country, and it is not about showing ID when you show up to vote. It's about the voter registration rolls, destroying them, purging them, not letting people know
They need to be purged.
The rights in a algorithm put together by ICE, put together by Doge and Musk. It's an outrage, and that's why so many people don't want to pass it. Yes. If a woman changes her name and you want to go first to go register.
Oh, these softball questions he's getting.
No. Only 5% of people register in person. You need a passport or your original birth certificate.
Yeah, we're going to have a bagpipe band there too at Reds.
Change your name? No good. It's an outrageous bill. Well, billions now. Illegal aliens are going to get kicked off the voter rolls. And women, man, it's really confusing to go re-register to vote. So hopefully they can figure it out. But Chuck Schumer apparently thinks all his women voters are idiots, and they can't go do that. They can't fill out a form or provide some actual proof of citizenship. So that's them panicking through and through. We saw Mark Elias is now filing the lawsuit with the Democratic Party. Abe on the day from Arizona says there is no other reason Democrats are so panicked about ICE polling and patrolling near polling stations than their fear that illegal aliens won't be allowed inside them to go vote. And I suspect there are some senators who are also in this grift, which is why they're so adamantly opposed to the SAFE Act. In other words, they're suing and fighting to block enforcement.
I mean, it was the question that he gave her to ask. You could tell.
So that's Abe on the day with a good update.
I'm glad they need to add more of these easy pass
Giving us a rundown of what's going on. 16
overpasses, so you don't even have to fucking go through the toll booth.
Giving us their roles. So compare and contrast this with the lying letter from Chris Mays and Adrian Fontes, and how they say that DOJ is completely baseless. There's no legitimacy to this at all. What are they doing? They're violating federal law. They're violating Arizona law. We're going to charge you with felonies if you don't do what we tell you to do, which is draconian. It's saying ignore the federal government or else I'm going to come prosecute you if you help expose my crimes. These people are little dictators, and they deserve everything that's coming their way. So here's Harmeet explaining the truth of what actually is happening with the DOJ's efforts. All they want is to get the list, just to make sure they're being properly maintained. And we know they're not. So here's Harmeet walking us through what is happening now.
I'm happy to say that we've either reached a settlement with every state that has voter rolls, or we are in litigation with them. And so far we have voluntary compliance with 16 jurisdictions that have either just given us their voter rolls in response to our data requests, or they've signed memorandum of understanding and then given us their voter rolls. The latest one was just uploaded last Friday. And then we are in litigation with 29 jurisdictions and the District of Columbia, and North Dakota has a kind of strange system where it doesn't have like static voter rolls. And so, this is a really important project for election integrity, and it's never been done by the DOJ before. And so People have to understand the number of hoops we have to jump through and their sensitivities. I've sued red states and blue states alike in our wave of lawsuits last week with 5 states that have refused to comply. They include 4 Republican majority states: Oklahoma, Kentucky, West Virginia, and
there's a piggy up ahead.
Blanking on the other one, and then New Jersey, of course, and so Utah is the other one.
So they're making progress. So it seems like what Chris Mays and what Andrew Bontes are doing is exaggerating the efforts of trying to frame what the Civil Rights Division is doing as illegal and illegitimate. And it's not at all. Most other states, not most, but 16 other states are complying with getting some progress on this. This federal law is pretty clear. The only reason they don't want to comply is because they exploited the system, and I would suspect they know that they're in big trouble because they're in their offices illegally. And look what else is happening in Michigan. Shout out to our friend Amuse and Real Robert over on X for sharing this nice report from this gentleman.
Yeah, they come out with them all the time. I don't ever use the voice assist, so because it annoys the shit out of me. It tells you about every turn and everything like that. It tells you. I mean, I just get the visual alerts. I keep all the audio off anyway. I do change my little car icon though.
So maybe they should check the voter rolls, but they don't because they're happy to have dead people on the ballots because they can collect those ballots, fill them out, turn them in, and no one's going to complain about it because he's dead. No one's going to check. So here's this report, courtesy of Amuse, Facts Matter, and the
only time I turn on the voice alerts is if I'm in a busy area where there's a lot of turns that I don't know the area.
Get elected to secretary.
Because I got a huge LCD screen on this vehicle. Let me show it to you.
Exploit that so you can stop yourself into the governor's seat.
Voters were likely dead, but still remain on the official voter rolls.
Look at that thing. It's all just like a Tesla-sized one.
The foundation's analysis of Michigan's voter roll and verifiable death records revealed that as of August.
And the whole dash is all electronic. It's the only thing I wish they did have like a backup type of analog system or something with it. But I guess that's what it is with new vehicles now. Unless it's a sports car or something like that, you're not going to get any analog gauges.
56 registrants have been dead for at least 20 years. They also discovered that at least 2 of these dead registrants, they were supposedly born before the year 1921, which would make them over 100 years old today. Furthermore, this legal foundation, they said that the majority of these dead individuals were marked as being active registrants over on the voter rolls. Here's in fact what they wrote on this front in the lawsuit. Quote, the 25,975 consisted of 24,645 active registrants and 1,330 inactive registrants. Meaning that according to their research at least, close to 95% of these potentially dead voters are marked as active registrants. Now, you might be generous and you might say that this is understandable since people do, of course, naturally die. And perhaps the state of Michigan is just being slow in removing them from the voter rolls. Maybe some of them just slipped through their cracks.
Yeah, they're just idiots, just oversight. Oops, administrative errors. No, there's no.
Yeah, I'm cool with this. I mean, if anything electronic goes wrong with this thing anyway, it's dead. Dead where it sits anyway, dead on the water because of the hybrid system.
They were actually registered to vote after having died.
Oh!
And I could always use, GPS on my phone as a speedometer if I'm able to drive. I don't think it'll even let you drive if the dash isn't working. A lot of them will just keep it turned off. I know you can't. If there is even a check engine light or something like that, at least on my old Chevy, you couldn't even use the remote start or anything. It wouldn't let you because for safety reasons. Yeah, warranty.
Jocelyn Benson, who was Michigan's Secretary of State, she's a Democrat, that she violated Section 8 of the National Voter Registration Act. And Section 8 of that particular law, it requires the state of Michigan to, quote, conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to remove the names of ineligible voters from the official list of eligible voters by reason of death of the registrar. Furthermore, this lawsuit alleges that the Secretary of State's violation of this particular law is not just a simple technicality, but rather it has very real-world consequences. Here's what it says, quote, Benson's violations of the National Voter Registration Act have harmed and continue to harm and frustrate the Foundation's purpose of protecting the integrity of the electoral process, ensuring that accurate and current voter registration laws are maintained, and educating the public about the Foundation's expenditure of significant time and money in Michigan, seeking to rectify the defendant's
fucking dude just late and
by removing the survey
went into coast mode because of that piggy.
has also forced the Foundation
We're not breaking speed limits, dude.
Other states with similar issues.
And then he kicks
Meaning,
off.
in plain English, that this nonprofit is being forced to do what the government is actually required to be doing themselves
by law. It is her job. She's Jocelyn Benson. She is the Secretary of State. Part of her job description is to manage the election, to govern this stuff. And they don't want to. Why? Because they're exploiting it. And it reminds me of this other concept of smurfing, where you see random people who are donating $3, $5, $7, $4 constantly to certain Democrat candidates. And Republicans, to be fair, are doing this too. So you go to people, you say, did you make 11,000 donations to this candidate? You show up to somebody's house, some grandma, and she says, what? No, I didn't do that. It's automated. There are algorithms. I'm sure there are bots that are scraping death records and then corroborating those and filing new registrations. It is a total free-for-all. And the point of having the list maintained is that you actually have to maintain.
Wonder what they have as well.
They don't
got non-flammable, corrosive, and flammable stuff inside that truck.
As far as I can tell. She also wanted to waive signature requirements there in Michigan. And she's now running for governor.
Flammable 3.
And this is what they do. The Secretary Election Spice Girls, in this case, Jocelyn Benson, Jenna Griswold, Katie Hobbs, they rig the elections, and then they run for higher office.
What is the Flammable 3 placard?
It identifies liquids with a flash point of 60.5 degrees Celsius or less during transport. The placard warns of fire risks for materials like gasoline, paint, and alcohol. It includes a flame symbol, the word flammable, and the class number 3.
It's never ending, and when you catch them, they turn around and threaten you with.
I just want to see what type of material it was. I know it ain't gasoline. They shouldn't have gasoline next to it. Probably paint.
Thank God. But now they're sending threats to county reporters saying, if you comply with federal government, we're hitting you with Class 6 felonies in Arizona. And
that's not a fuel tanker. It's just a regular trailer.
The FBI and the DOJ, as we learned from Just the News, already have terabytes of data. It was gigabytes. Now we're learning it's terabytes. And that was handed over by Warren Peterson, the Arizona Senate president. We'll see if they come after him with felonies. I doubt it. That might be a little bit too much to fight off for them. But they're very, very nervous about that. The DNC is suing. They know that the gig is up. Save Act or not, which we hope that we have it. They're still nervous and freaked. And so we're going to keep our eyes on this one, my friends. Thank you for joining and subscribing as we do. Now, we're not done yet. Let's turn our attention to the SAVE Act and get into it. MAGA and the GOP voters are very unhappy. And we now see Fox News sharing this from David Marcus saying, Senator Thune, as we heard yesterday, whining.
Yeah, this is kind of like an outskirt area. We'll get busier as we get in. We're getting near Toledo now, so I'll be exiting in about 2.5 miles. We'll be in Toledo. We already passed the airport area.
Some people are getting the hint. John Cornyn just wrote this op-ed saying,
actually,
I'm willing to nuke the filibuster because the SAVE Act matters more all of a sudden. What's curious about this, though, is John Cornyn doesn't really want to answer a lot of questions about this. Here was John Cornyn earlier today after a journo reporter
Maumee River
has done an amazing job here.
Seems pretty high too, but not terribly high.
To John Cornyn and said, hey, I want to ask you about the filibuster. You said that we had to preserve the filibuster, and now because you want Trump's endorsement, because you know Ken Paxton's probably going to beat you in the runoff, now you have reversed course and suddenly flipped, and we'll just tell everybody what they want to hear with no real intention of following through. Asked him a question, and here is Cornyn's response.
Oh, I mean, no, it's Rossford. I'm heading to Reds. I'm going to grab a bite to eat before I run out to Green Springs, so I'm probably going to kill the stream when I get there. I'll raid the guy we're listening to, Robert Gouveia.
Is that no longer true?
I said I'd be open to reform.
What would you say to those who say...
Maumee's a much bigger river, so it can handle a few days of rain.
You also said that if
I think we're through.
Oh, he didn't like that at all. Look at that face there, Johnny boy. Well, we don't like flip-floppers. We like authentic people. We're tired of being lectured to our faces and then stabbed in the back as soon as we go through and turn our backs around. Here's one more exchange just so you can see it, just because it's so good.
I'd say that's not true.
You also said that if
I think we're through. Go away.
Thank you.
Go away. Get out of here. I've already answered questions. Well, we're pretty tired of this crap, I'll tell you what. Here is David Marcus explaining the base is mad. The majority leader comments come as 60% of Texas Republicans voted against John Cornyn. And now they're spending tens of millions of dollars on this piece of work. About 60% of Texas Republicans voted last Tuesday to throw John Cornyn out of there. But it wasn't really Cornyn they were rejecting. It was the feckless, do-nothing GOP Senate leadership that makes waiting for Godot look like Fast and Furious. I don't even know what those things mean. But Texas AG Ken Paxton wound up in a virtual tie with Cornyn. They're headed to a runoff precisely because Republican voters, not just in Texas, but across the country, are incandescently angry at the GOP-controlled Senate and their inability to do much of anything. Nothing. The righteous fury is why Paxton's political play was so brilliant. He said that if the Senate does pass the SAFE Act and its voter ID provisions, I'll drop out. I'll be selfless. You don't have to spend $30 million additional dollars in addition to your $100 million that you tried to spend to win the race outright anymore. And you can do something else good with that. Thune says, I don't have the math, but for Cornyn, and more importantly for Thune, this occasioned a crisis and a much needed one. As GOP voters stare across the desk at the Senate leadership, like the Bobs in Office Space, saying, if you can't pass a bill with massive public support, what would they say they actually do here? What do you say you do here from Office Space? Thune responded on Monday to growing public calls to pass the SAFE Act in the stupidest, most infuriating way possible by asserting that voters aren't really angry. It's all because of paid influencers. Who is paying the influencers? American voters or something? To get voter integrity? Like the illegal alien NGOs aren't paying influencers. It's illogical. Now, the fact that
plate on that car, I don't even see a tip. Oh, there's one in the window. Oh, maybe.
To everybody.
I don't even think there's one in the window there.
Anything a politician has ever said.
But yeah, it's another one of those buy here, pay here places.
Influencers in Texas? No, they're not. All across the country, Republican voters tell me that they are apoplectic about the Senate.
And most of these have historic floodplains, so the Maumee is a very old river. So, I mean, maybe some places upriver a lot farther, like Defiance and stuff, or even Napoleon. There was another thing for there too, but I didn't bother going there.
We have no quarterbacks in there who can even run the plays. Yes, they understand the arcane 60-vote filibuster stuff.
And technically, that's not legal to have it in the window if you have a place for it in the back of the car.
All they need is 51 votes. They want
it's not, because most back windows in newer cars these days are tinted, so, or at least have some tint, not full tint, but some tint.
It's also Trump. Trump has shown a rare amount of patience with Thune's ineptitude and incalcitrance. Even Cornyn has come around, only if to face his own personal political demise, penning a column saying, "Oh, I guess you're right. I guess I like the SAFE Act now because I want to win my election." But Thune, with his long, sad face and his low, mournful voice, like "You're the donkey, I'm John Thune. I don't have the land," just keeps saying we don't have the votes to break the filibuster. House writes David Marcus, any Republican senator who refuses to vote to break the filibuster loses their committee assignments. You're banned, gets no money from the party, you're done, and we're going to primary your booties. Pretty good ideas. The most dangerous thing I heard from GOP voters in Texas, and I heard it from plenty, is that they are starting to think their vote doesn't matter. Why would it? That nothing can change anyway. And right now, who would argue with them? Now, I don't know who Thune surrounds himself with, or who told him that anger I see everywhere is actually just a paid campaign. We have not gotten $1 from anything remotely related to anything like this. We're supported by you, not in campaign influence operations. But they want to smear us. They want to say that our opinions are illegitimate. It's an insult, actually. But I would urge him to go back and talk to some actual voters. It was an ominous sign that more Democrats than Republicans voted last week in red Texas with big trouble then. But not a surprise because the demoralized aren't eager voters. You want to go vote for people who win, and if they don't win, they try. Okay, they give it their best shot. You can say, damn, man, that guy put it all out on the field. Okay, he lost, but man, he's bloodied up. He's cut, he's scraped him, he's sweating, he's all, all bruised and battered. But that's not happening here. They'll push through stuff that serves them. Today, they were talking about.
Depends on the special. They got a great burger here, great bar burger.
They had a hearing today about.
Just depends on who's cooking too.
We love dogs and all the things.
We're gonna do a couple replacements there.
But there are higher priorities.
This happens.
Franchisees. Okay, shout out to all of our vets out there. We love you too, but we got to get the save back passed. Then we can focus on the animals. There is no direct evidence to show that Sam Beckett was inspired by Senate Republicans when he wrote what could have been. But if nothing else, Thune needs to look the GOP voters in the eye and directly say, we hear you, we know you're angry, we see it in the primary results, and we will listen to what you want and try to do better. And if they don't, then we'd rather...
Actually, the menu itself is pretty decent here, but we're going to do some tweaking if this happens.
The race, and if he loses, because the Senate, by the way, the Senate is disgusting. Okay?
I mean,
like
for the most part,
was running, they didn't support her at all.
Business is decent here.
From the Senate,
we just think it could be better.
They didn't support her because she.
We want a chance to make that happen.
Protect their body. That's why you get Katie Britt, one of the newest people in the Senate from Alabama.
Oh shit!
She comes in, she's like, "Yeah, we really like Courtney." Why? Because they circle the wagons to protect themselves. And if you're on the outs, like if Ken Paxton comes in and Mitch McConnell and John Thune and all of them say, "We're mad at you, Ken. We know I am," then they throw him under the bus. Then he loses. Then they say, see, we told you so. Should have picked Cornyn. Maybe if you would have actually supported Carrie Lake, she would have actually won. But they didn't because they're cowards. So if nothing else, and by the way, that may be...
All right, let me, I'm going to...
They may do that exactly.
I'm going to raid...
But if we get Tallarico, at least we know what
stream we're listening to. Just give me a second.
Who's basically the same thing as Tallarico. And Cornyn will stab us in the back. At least Tallarico will stab us in the front. Right now, Thune and Republicans are like the inattentive husband who doesn't know the divorce papers have already been filed. It may not be too late to work it out with the voters, but it's getting pretty damn close. And Cornyn knows that there's pressure brewing, which is why he wrote this. He said, all right, in light of unprecedented Democrat obstruction, Cornyn authored the following op-ed. He wrote it in the New York Post. Here it is from his website. If a man takes a swing at you and barely misses, that doesn't make him a pacifist. It just means he has bad aim. Oh, gosh. Standing still and giving him a second free swing wouldn't be wise or honorable. It would be foolish. In 2022, Chuck Schumer and 47 other Democrats tried to change the rules in the Senate to nuke the filibuster. This is true. To ram through a left-wing takeover of election laws. Okay? 47 plus Chuck, 48. We had two people stand firm against that. Joe Manchin, he's gone. Kirsten Sinema, she's gone. They threw him out because they were not heterodox Democrats. They were just barely stopped by two holdouts and they were thrown out of the party. So if they win the Senate, and go look at the markets, the numbers are getting closer and closer every day. They just have to win a simple majority.
All right, bud.
They're going to change the rules.
Let me switch, turn around real quick before I hit the button here.
They were just barely stopped by 2 holdouts. In 24, Schumer
I'll be seeing you.
Reporters, the Democrats are going to finish the job. They're going to nuke the 60-vote threshold next time they take.
If I do end up running out, I may drop this off tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how late I end up being here. So,
I believe that if the Senate scrapped the filibuster, Texas and our nation would stand to lose more than we would gain.
Let them know I sent you. They got a great chat over there.
To protect the country from whatever. But when the reality on the ground changes, we must take stock and adapt. Today, Democrats are weaponizing the Senate's rules to block the Save America Act and defund DHS and hurt the American people, all to spite Trump.